Hello and welcome everyone back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, as we carry on our tabletop RPG night series, time, whatever, with some more Dark Heresy, first edition and second edition mix up. So, in the last episode, our group of Inquisitorial agents were able to save their ally after defeating the acid riot in the elevator. The hell did I call it? I had a name for it. In the elevator room.
Gamma.
Let's call it that.
I think it was Gamma.
No. That's
Thought
not.
it was
Wait, that's
Zeta.
Gamma.
No, that's not what I'm on about. That wasn't what I was on about. It was the area. Oh, that's right. The transit hub. Is that what I called it? Yeah, the transit hub. So after the battle, after the battle, to save their comrades in the elevator transit hub, our group of acolytes were successful. They were able to kill the enemy that were there and got themselves enough time to save their allies before trying to make a hasty exit. One of their party felt like taking a little bit longer to acquire some battlefield salvage. Good move, bad move? We'll find out. As our group got their allies into the elevator and began heading up, well, first they worked out where they were going to go, and with some information from Tiffany, they headed up. Almost arriving at the border to the middle hive, the group's tech priest was doing battle with the Mechanicus to try and keep control of the pick feeds and pick recorders within the elevator itself. She was overcome eventually. The Mechanicus do have photos of all of you. Now remember, you were on the elevator for 6 hours. So, after getting to the midway point between the lower hive and middle hive, and losing control of the pick feeds, the group made their exit, gathering up the injured, the survivors, their gear and themselves. They did, however, make contact with the Poison Kiss, or at least Tifa made contact with the Poison Kiss. And Ceres, or Miss Nightshade, has prepared something for them. The group haven't exactly been told what's going on, but they will soon find out, as they are at the elevator doors to the Mechanicus control. What did I call it? Command center. The elevator stops, the doors open, and our team makes their way out. Now, I'm going to imagine that most of you are trying to conceal the weaponry that you all have on you. Very, very illegal. Highly illegal weaponry that you have on you.
I am a sanctioned Mechanicus operative. I am legally allowed to own these weapons. Well, this weapon. I only have one. Two.
To be fair, the only things I
passing
have
off the very illegal laws onto me.
Brother, which Mechanicus Enclave are you registered to? Testing. Your identity has not been registered to any Mechanicus Enclave on World. Please, explain
Where's
your
that
actions.
coming from?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Where's that
So-
coming from?
As the doors open, you have, I imagine, tried to hide your equipment as best you can. As the light begins to shine through, you would notice that immediately the air in the middle hive is better than the air in the lower hive. Not quite as stinky, different flavour to it. You'd also notice that it seems to be manic. As the doors open, you just see hordes and hordes of people. Sellers shouting out, selling their wares, people holding up banners, flying the Imperial Aquila. It all seems to be happening, and it's kind of disorientating as the doors open. This wall of noise almost strikes you as this cacophony of just thousands of people selling their wares and playing music, and it's almost like a small festival or carnival is going on. But can you all give me awareness tests? Yeah, it's awareness in this. Flat.
Festivities.
Awareness. May I also make a Sinitians?
I think I missed this Guitari kill clay that they sent for us.
You can.
Oh.
Bunch of failures, bunch of failures, bunch of failures. Yes, you are.
Yep.
You're way too enthusiastic about it.
Sometimes.
Where did that song come from? Someone passed. That's good.
So,
Oh, it's my fantasy that has fucking amazing perception.
most of you are just overwhelmed. You've just come from combat, you've calmed down for a couple of hours, got yourselves ready, and you just weren't expecting this. Just the noise and the people and the sound, it's just too much to take in, too many people to check out. However, Liliana, as I would imagine you're kind of supporting Tifa.
I am.
As you look out, you would notice that there are a lot of women holding these banners. There are a lot of women selling their wares. There are just a lot of women doing things. Of course, there are male sellers and vendors and musicians, but it's definitely a 70% female grouping at the moment. And as you look around, you can see that there's almost a small, there's a very small, I wouldn't call it a marching band, it's like a parade almost, that started at your end. So it started at the elevators, and all the people are looking down the road away from the elevator's main shaft. So as the elevator to Gamma comes up, all you can see is just banners being flown in the air, people selling their wares. It's just so manic that none of you except from Liliana notice that all these banners are covering you from the air. And as the doors open and you kind of take this all in and you see, this is very, it seems last minute, it seems put together quickly, but it is providing you with a lot of cover. Liliana, you would also see that there's an emergency vehicle parked 2 minutes, 3 minutes from where you are. There is a female tech priest, as far as you can gather, but her robes do have the white, they are white robes of a chirurgeon and a medicae, as well as a number of assistants to her. They're in white white uniforms of the medicae, but they're not carrying any equipment or tools, except from they are stood next to a stretcher with its wheels down.
I'm just gonna smile, look at Tiffany, and say, I really do like this post of yours. And I'm gonna tap to the rest of the group, and I'm gonna point to the stretcher and the emergency vehicle. And it's probably there for us.
Yep,
Just gonna
alright. Help me with the heavily wounded one.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Actually,
Or
don't
don't.
wave.
I'll
Just
help
go.
him with the limp, whatever the hell she is.
Yeah, I forgot what her name was. I'm sorry.
Tiffany.
There's
No, not
Tiffany,
Tiffany, the other one.
Urza.
Yeah, Urza, the one that had an internal bleeding.
There's also Mandy and someone else. I forget. Saffron, I believe.
Yeah, but
Saffron,
they're
yes.
fine.
Those two are, yes. Actually, I
Oh,
think
mostly
Mandy
fine.
there. Let's go
So-
then. Come on.
As you leave, the Chirurgian, the Adeptus Mechanicus Chirurgian, spots you immediately. She has a Mechadendite, not a optical. She's just looking in your direction. She clearly knows that someone's meant to be coming up, and they'll be pretty noticeable. And with Tiffany's pink mohawk, I think she's got a pink mohawk. It's pretty.
Tiffany.
Coming out of Mechanicus Enclave entrance. They're the ones.
Yeah, it's fine.
They rush over to you, and as the tech priest comes over to you, and the stretcher is laid out, and Urza is laid onto the stretcher, she turns around to you, and in an augmented voice, so a natural voice, our sponsor has informed me to take you all with us to the Medicae outpost. Please follow me, and by the Omnisire, try to conceal yourselves more. You cannot. She is glancing at the bulging equipment that is just. You're trying to hide it, but it's, large rifles on people with no.
This is going to give a. She's going to make a sign of the Mechanicus. She's going to give the Chirurgian a bouncy. Thank you, Chirurgian. We will try to better ourselves. And she's going to look at the rest of the group and say,
I'm gonna
Please.
give Liliana a stink eye.
Mordecai's just gonna.
Oh, so now you decide to properly classify Mechanicus personnel, hmm? Let me see how it is.
Mordecai's just gonna look at the others with their bulging backpacks, because all he's got is a sword and a shield. So it's not like he's not as bad as some of the others. So he probably thinks, "Oh, I'm fine." And
Guilty
then
by
he actually has-
association.
Yeah, then he actually is like, "Oh no, I'm just as bad." Crap.
Yeah, I'm going to call slightly and go, "Now's not the time."
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, better.
Hello?
Okay, it's better now.
You wanted the time,
yeah.
was that?
Discord was crapping out for me. Like, I heard like maybe every fifth word Waldo said.
Also, now that I think about it, I am helping carry Tiffany, so I'm gonna do this while carrying Tiffany without dropping her. But anyway, Lillian will just follow the Chirurgian while ushering the people to follow her quickly.
So the emergency vehicle that is there is not your standard ambulance. It's not your standard jumbulance. This is easily a 6-wheeler vehicle. As you get up into it, Urza is of course taken in first by the 2 assistants. There's almost a complete Medicae. This is a fully equipped Medicae outpost on wheels, almost. Urza is laid down and then connected to vital machinery that records her vitals.
See,
And-
this I can work with.
The rest of you find there are other beds. At least 5 people can be laid down in here, as well as another 7 who can be seated, not including the actual Chirurgian team, her and her 2 assistants, plus the driver and the assistant driver. As you're all bundled in, I'll give it to you that you all notice that once you start moving, women within the parade, the crowd, holding banners, start moving with you flying the banners high. And again, I'll just give it to you, basically covering up all the pick feeds that are surrounding you.
Yeah.
I love these people. They're good at their job. Jesus.
Oh, I'll be damned. This sure can move a lot of capital. Right, I should probably see to the wounded one. And we actually have the facility to do something about her.
The Adeptus Mechanicus Chirurgeon, she places, once Urza is down and everyone else is in, she microbeads to the driver to move on. She then begins checking over Urza. By all means, Jenny, you can intervene here if you wish.
I will. I'm gonna essentially explain. S1 has suffered head trauma as well as a severe internal bleeding. We need to act fast if we are to save her.
I agree with your initial assessment. I can see that the bruising is growing in this area. I shall get her... Yes, we shall have to perform the operation here. Will you assist? Tech Priest?
Of course.
She looks at you for a moment because you are in Tech Priest robes, aren't you? You don't actually have
And
Medicaid.
a great coat over that, yes.
Are you proficient in Medicaid operational techniques?
I was designated as Chirurgeon Superioris by my training.
Understood. We must act quickly. She gives you a very quizzical, like, what the fuck kind of look, but really quickly snaps out of it, and you two begin operating on
Hector,
Urza.
please provide sufficient lighting.
Understood, mistress.
He just flies up and a little stab beat light comes down, shining perfectly. He moves in between your heads as you lean in, so you don't block the light.
No, you little psychic shit, they're not.
So, you and the other Chirurgeon will begin work on Urza. Fortunately, Urza will survive. You don't need to do any rolls, because technically it hasn't been 24 hours.
I mean, this feels more like extended care at this point rather than first aid. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. This is you guys doing an operation and trying to stop the bleed. She's not going to gain any health back, but she's not in any danger at the moment. Because you are assisting, I will roll, I think it's a 1d4. So it takes you 3 hours of surgery to go through and stop all the bleeding, stop all the trauma that's happened. In fact, no, I'm not going to.
Stop all
the trauma. All the trauma, the bleeding, the damage.
The critical hits.
The critical hits. But after 3 hours, you have finished your surgery. As you step back and you can see that Urza will make it, the Tech Priest turns to you and... I was impressed with your work. Perhaps you are what you say, although it is curious that you would be in a place like this. But by the Omnissire's divine will, I will not interrogate you over this matter. Our benefactor most probably will.
I am curious to see how far she will go. I do not anticipate she will have much success.
The Kairajan smiles. We will see. Now, if you will excuse me, I will attend to any other minor injuries that there may be. She makes the sign of the Omnisire and turns to the others who may just need little scratches and boo-boos sorted. Although Tiffany's still at -7. Yeah.
Yeah, she has a
alright.
few boo-boos we should take care of. But I technically have to wait, so the chirurgeon has to do all the work.
Lily currently has a boob bruise, but she's not showing. She's just standing by Tiffany. Because I am at 6 HP.
Yeah, if she approaches me, I kind of want healing, but I'm going to turn to Jenny and go, Jenny, can you do it? Because under my breath, just kind of whispering, I don't, no new people. No, fuck it, no. I already took on little people in the fucking elevator. That's enough. I don't want any more. I don't, especially not someone trying to fucking dig around on me inside. No pulling out lead. I don't know her. I don't trust her.
Fine. Big baby, lay down on that cot.
Mordecai's only wounds are mental ones, not physical.
And Darius gets no painkillers. There's an important lesson to be learned here that he needs to learn.
You can't trust a Mechanicus ever.
No.
Pretty much.
Do not endanger the team over fucking loot.
It's alright, Darius. The NPC Mechanicus will like you enough.
No. I don't mind if she likes me or not. I'm distrustful. Literally my quirk. I'm distrustful.
True.
I don't trust new people. Let me get to know you first. But no. Jenny, get over here. Please help.
I don't think she's the kind of person who normally goes out for a drink before treating her patients.
Darius gonna just... Oh. I didn't mean it like that.
I'm just Yankee a chain.
Shouldn't you be having a head trauma again?
No, I got enough of those the other night. I don't want any more.
That wasn't John.
Alright. So, let's do a quick recap. This was supposed to be a quick stop through a gang-infested war zone, and now we end up here in the Middle Hive, associating with people who are obviously on the payroll of an influential spire noble. So, and now we are, therefore, by proxy and extension, part of the power games and the spires.
I mean, there aren't many better ways to make the amount of money we need to make.
I mean, it's
I am
one of the steps. It's
I-
one of the steps
I'm-
we need to go on.
I am
Things were
sorry.
so
Lillian-
much easier back on the station.
Lillian's gonna get up from next to Tiffany. She's gonna move to the group that is speaking out loud inside. A Kairajan then. I'm sorry, what are you guys talking about? You guys are not making any sense. And she has wide eyes like, stop talking about that shit while we're next to strangers. Dumbasses.
I mean, we're underhivers. It's not exactly unusual. We're poor.
They're just gonna give her like, be careful, you idiots, and she's gonna go back to Tiffany.
Low hivers, if anything. Not
That does
under. You still have pants, don't you?
I think so.
I mean, I guess. I mean, the bodysuit thing Dodgy Dave gave me is chafing a little. Don't think it counts on its own.
I don't think I need to calculate how much you heal there is. I don't think that's important.
Am I just full healed, basically?
Yes, you
Pretty
are
much.
full healed.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, with the intelligence bonus on top of that. Yeah, I should imagine.
I did skimp on the painkillers though.
Well, no, because what, it's +4? Are you at 40? +4?
Yeah, still at
intelligence,
4.
so-
It's the... No, I'm at 52, so it's
Oh, so
+5 now.
+5 on top of that. Yeah, you're
Holy
fully
fuck.
healed.
Did
You're
you
fine.
heal
Yeah, I'm not
14
even
HP?
looking at the wound. It's just muscle memory.
13 wounds, I believe. No, sorry, +1 for succeeding. So yeah, 15
14.
wounds. 14 wounds, yeah.
So I just healed the whole Darius.
Thank you.
Pretty much.
You even cured Darius PTSD.
Nah, that's
I don't think
it.
that's gonna happen for a while.
Is there any other healing that needs to go on?
Liliana does need some healing.
Yeah.
Alright, then sign up in the queue. Okay, Liliana, not in critical, I assume.
Nope. I just need an ice pack or something like that for my boob bruise.
For your
boob
boob
bruise?
bruise. Did Tiffany get?
I-
Wait to
I-
the bedroom for that. Come on.
And who else? Mordecai? Or
Mordecai's
Ezio?
fine. I think Ezio's fine as well.
That was for me? Okay, thank you.
I believe so.
Okay then.
So, after 3 hours of surgery, you then do another hour, we'll say half an hour, of treatment on your comrades. With half an hour of talking, you would note that the truck stops. The Chirurgeon turns round to you and turns to Tifa. We have reached our destination. It is the Middle Hive Club. Will that be sufficient? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, thank you. Do you know anything about what? I'm sorry, no information is available at this time. Perhaps Miss Nightshade will know more. Okay.
Can I scrutiny what she just said?
Sure.
Scrutiny, perception, or fellowship?
Because she's a tech priest, you can have it on perception. Although I think it should normally be fellowship, but because she's a tech priest, you can go on perception.
They're both essentially the same for me anyway. Nope, I don't.
No, you don't notice anything. So as the door opens, both the side and back door open, you'd note that you're underground at the moment. There's no one around. As the doors swing open, you look like you're in a parking garage, as best you can tell.
Okay.
So where? I thought she said this was a club.
Once you get out, you'll see that yes, it is a parking garage, and there is a staircase with a sign that reads "The Thirsty Eagle."
I do have.
Thirsty?
Right.
Yes, the Thirsty.
I do have
Yes.
this. Is Tiffany still at -7, or did she get medical assistance in the van?
Nope, still at -30.
-30.
To the roll.
No,
Oh,
so
okay.
no. She's sorry. She's
If
She's at
-31,
-7.
she's fucking dead.
she's at -7,
so she didn't-
but you can't get healed twice within 24 hours. So she's had
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
she's had triage, so she's not bleeding still, but she hasn't gained any hit points back.
Gotcha.
So as you look up, you can see that there's a sign. It's a neon sign No surprises there. Saying the thirsty eagle, it is glowing. And it's kind of odd. There's a sign of an Aquila. And there's a sign of, bottles next to it. Next to a woman who's kind of in the position of dancing, going down and then coming back up as the light changes, making her kind of do a fist pump kind of dance. Not the most common sign you've ever seen, but okay.
It's a strange dance routines they have up here.
The fuck's an eagle?
The symbol of the Imperium?
The Aquila?
Yes.
That's called an Aquila, not an eagle.
Yeah. It's got two heads and it's all about the Emperor. I feel like that's heresy to call a place the Thirsty Emperor.
Liliana will visibly face palm loudly, like, blah!
Tiffany kind of...
thirsty. Sitting on the throne all day.
Tiffany's got her one arm kind of around Liliana. She's got a low stick in her other hand. And she just looks at Liliana, looks at the rest of the group and... The fuck is wrong with you all? And takes a drag on her low stick before, trying to lead Liliana, going up the stairs. Enough of this nonsense.
Yeah, you
Honey,
see
you
what we
haven't
have to work with here.
We
You haven't got a
eagles.
list.
We don't have eagles where I come from, okay? The fuck is an eagle? It's like a one-headed fucking Aquila.
Liliana will just ignore them and keep moving with Tiffany.
I would comment, but I don't actually speak High Gothic yet.
I've seen flying things that look like an Aquila, but it's an Aquila. It doesn't. It has two heads.
Yeah, that's an Aquila, not an eagle, okay?
You really do know how to make a girl feel like she's not wanted. As Tiffany and Liliana or Tiffany's trying to get Liliana to go up the stairs to the club.
Oh no, I'm going up the stairs. I'm not waiting there with them. I'm just ignoring them and going.
It's more that no matter what, they can make you feel like the smartest person in the room.
It's more a case of we're explaining this as we're walking up the stairs, following behind them. I'm following the group. It's just a case of I don't know what the fucking eagle is. I know what the Aquila is. I don't know what an eagle is.
Oh,
Looks like an Aquila
Messiah,
with
give
one
me
head.
the patience so I can persevere through this.
Tiffany, they may be idiots, but they mean well.
So, as you go up the stairs, I need to... I think it may be a little bit loud, so let's turn the volume down a bit. So, as you go up the stairs, you would hear the sounds of music. What the fuck is that?
Is this Scotland? Is this Techno Scotland?
I think it is. Why is this here? Oh, it's playing the...
I'm okay with this.
It's not playing anything.
It's
for me.
playing the bottom one first, that's why. I don't know why...
Oh my god. Oh no.
Please, I want to go back to Techno Scotland.
There we go.
Techno Scotland is good. Scotland is good.
So you can just hear this really loud rock type music coming from inside of the club. Actually, I'll turn it down a little bit more because you're not meant to hear, you're just meant to hear a little bit of it. As you're kind of gone up this staircase, but it doesn't lead into like a bar. You come up to this big metal door, and before Tiffany and Liliana get to the door to knock, it's already swung open, and you can see that there is a smiling girl there who just, you can tell that she's been crying, but as she sees Tiffany, there's just a sigh of relief, and she just swings, the door swings open, and she's just pointing up, just go on up quickly. Just get in. You all make your way in, and the door slams shut. The girl follows behind, so the poor girl probably has to listen to, well, what the fuck is an eagle then? Coming from the back. Or from in front of her. As you walk round, you can see, you go past a couple of storerooms where girls are going over doing stock checks. There's a couple of dressing rooms where, let's see, roll a 1d100. This I have, thank you very much. No, unfortunately, as you come by, you can hear women talking, but the door is closed. You don't see anyone come through. The smell of low sticks and the smoke can just be seen wafting from within the dressing room. You make your way up another small set of stairs. There's only about 6 of them. And that leads you up to a much finer looking door, but it's still quite heavy duty. And as Tiffany reaches it, she goes to put her hand on it to push it open, and the door comes open. Stood there in the doorway is a blonde-haired woman. It's about shoulder length, little bit off the shoulders. Very beautiful face. You don't see any completely unscarred. She almost has a glow about her. Large breast, small waist, big hips. She's about 5'9", 5'10". No, maybe 5'8". She has some really large boots on, which are just pushing her up to 6 foot. Trying to
the imperial measurements again.
Trying to increase 193 centimeters. I don't know.
No, 6 foot tall is 183 meters.
There you go.
Unless she's taller. What did you say?
No. No, she's just about 6 foot.
Yeah, so she's 183.
Thanks to her boots. And her boots are much like the... so her clothing is... Her boots are the same as the Poison Kisses. But she's wearing beige trousers that are of a strange material. You're not quite sure. They do flow. Has the bloody music stopped because I've done...
Yes,
you
does.
weird...
Yep.
Why do you... Why? Roll 20. Why? So
Because it wants us to go back to Techno Scotland.
There you go.
Scotland!
For Scotland!
Like
Bye,
make-
laddie.
I shouldn't have
They
done
may
that.
take my techno, but they can never take my freedom.
So, as you make our way up, she has a very fine fabric brown belt on with a gold clasp, and her top is a black corset with silver inlays on it. And she, goddamn, that music's making me like, what's she? Listening to music. Where's the fucking image of her? Probably the easiest one. But as she stands there, she looks at Tiffany. Well, it's good to see that at least one of you made it to the club. Are these the ones that I have to thank for that? Yes. Yes, Sarah. Yes, these are the ones who saved us. They, don't worry, Tiffany. I imagine you've been through quite a lot. Just come on in.
Can I make a Psyniscience test on her?
Sure.
Probably gonna go horribly, as always. Nope, I wasted all my good rolls in fantasy last week.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. Too. Just because
I'm
why
gonna
not?
do it.
Significance. You boop. Hey.
God damn it.
I don't think it's the best type to grab a boob, yeah, but you know, whatever floats your boat, I suppose.
Cena.
So, nope. Not a psychic. Not a psyker. It's always shit when you guys are like, I'm going to roll Psyniscience to get a good roll. It's like, no, there's no.
But there's occasionally times when we're like, oh, there's an anti-astropathic choir down there.
True.
Ah!
As you make your way in, this is like most movie, like backroom offices where it's got that large mirror that overlooks the club. There's a number of seats, a small bar, a big desk, obviously, where the boss sits, with a very plush chair next to it. As she gets out of the way so you can all come in, she takes a seat by the bar. There's 2 other ladies in the room with her. And one of them, as soon as Ceres walks away from the door, she sees you all and is like, right, goes over, starts getting drinks ready, starts getting other things ready. The other woman actually stands there with one hand behind her back and one hand in front of her, playing with a device in her hand.
What sort of device?
You don't know.
What do my mechanic's eyes see?
Perception minus, I believe it's minus 20.
No.
Okay, you
It
don't
was
know.
to be expected. but-
It's an item that fits in the palm of her hand. That's about all you can really tell at the moment. It's almost like it was designed to not be able to be seen.
I'm gonna try it. Can I try it?
Can I try it too?
You can all try it, yeah.
Okay.
Minus 20.
Minus 20.
This is
I'm
not going to
gonna-
go well.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
try
wait,
because I just
shit.
steer into the warp. So
Hey! I
Holy
wasted my
shit.
one good roll this week.
I actually forgot to put the minus 20 in, sorry. I jumped the gun a little. Yeah, I still failed it.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
so,
then I also fail.
Okay, so only Mordecai actually sees the small barrel sticking out roughly where her hand is. She's holding it in the palm of her hand, and she's kind of got her thumb out so it hides the barrel. It looks like a Series S Venom compact las gun. Or las pistol.
Oh,
Oh. I...
Nasty.
Mordecai doesn't know what to do with this information.
She's
So-
trapped, yo. She's
Uh,
packing.
He's just going to rest his hand on the hilt of his sword nonchalantly.
And as
that's a cool picture.
as you walk in, you all get a view of the window. So, the Thirsty Eagle. Turns out it's a strip club. And you can see, as you look down, numerous women on different poles, dancing in different erotic ways, to the cheering, glaring eyes of a lot of men. And I suppose a couple of women sprinkled throughout. Why not? You would also probably notice as you're looking around, like, hang on, what? There are a couple of male pole dancers, but they're kind of pushed right into the corner. Right out there. But everyone does seem to be having a pretty good time as Ceres makes her way over to her desk, sitting down and gesturing for Tiffany and the rest of you as well to take a seat, mainly to Tiffany, but as Tiffany goes to take a seat, she kind of pulls on Liliana's arm, gesturing that, come on, take a seat.
I will do so.
I'm not sitting.
I'm just going to whisper to Darius. It's like, they've got some concealed weapons. We may need to be careful.
Put my hand on Waldo, and the grip
use-
tightens.
On
Very,
who?
Waldo.
very short. Waldo. Mordecai.
Pinky.
Gripping his wrist and tightening his. What?
You said
if-
what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said what?
There, are there chairs for everyone?
Yes.
I just nod towards the one that had the compact las gun. Just like has a gun on her wrist.
Okay.
Liliana is gonna, if she sees that people are not taking a seat, Liliana is gonna look behind her back and she's gonna look at them and then look at the chair like, take a seat, please.
So
Don't
there
be
is
rude.
like a couch, like an L-shaped couch, and a few chairs. You know, the couch is set up so you can get a good view out of the window to see how the club's doing. You know, people enjoying themselves and get a good old gander at strippers. But there are a number of chairs which are all like high wing-back chairs. This place is definitely luxurious. It's not. It's club luxury. It's not. You know, this is not high living, high society. This is just good furniture for hard to put people in brackets of fucking luxury and wealth. It's just a normal club like you'd find in England. It's not a high roller club. It's just everything's nice.
Yeah.
The girl who was bringing drinks over, she has a number of drinks. Most of them seem to be Amasex, but there are a couple of other ones, and perhaps a water or a clear spirit. She comes over and gives, obviously, Sarah's a drink, Tiffany a drink, Liliana offers, you know. But she looks at the two of you, Darius and Mordecai, and says, well, yeah, of course we're armed. What do you expect? You're all bloody armed. We didn't take your weapons, did we? Fucking paranoid men. By the Emperor, you would have thought he would have given you some balls. What, are you scared of 3 little women?
Liliana's gonna look at the woman that is speaking up. I do apologize. They are a little paranoid, but don't worry. They will not do anything to us unless they are attacked first, which I don't think they will. So she's gonna look at the two. Would you please take a seat? You're being rude. We're guests.
Just thought it pertinent.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I just thought it pertinent the other men in our group knew, because the fact that your groups don't tend to like us.
Mordecai, take a seat. You're being rude.
Sorry, mother.
Girls, that's enough. Stop poking fun at those who saved our comrades. It's not how we work. The girl who was passing drinks looks over at Saracen, gives a bow and trying not to spill the drinks. Sorry, miss. And as for you, it's not that I or any of us hate men. It's just surely you're aware that women need to protect themselves against those men who would try to use them and abuse them. I would have thought that would have been clear why we have made our own kind of sororitas, I guess you could say.
The world's a shit place, Louis. What like that?
Yeah.
Although I do see why you're probably as distrustful as I am, seeing as what the fuck those gangers can do down there.
Quite true. Before we carry on, she takes out quite a large, bulky briefcase. It's almost the whole of the bottom drawer, and places it down on top of her desk. She flicks a button, and there's a small spark, and there's a couple of electrical sounds that come out of it, and you all feel your ears kind of pop as a pressure change within the room happens. There. We shouldn't be spied upon now.
Most interesting
Stronger?
contraption.
How does it work? Because there are many different ways of spying on someone.
And how would you know that, Underhiver?
At that, Jenny is gonna smile. Well, I think it's quite obvious that the gig is up.
We're all refugees, so we weren't always underhivers. We did have lives before this place.
Can you roll me? You're not lying. Well, no, you are lying, but you have a backstory. So
Yeah.
you are lying. You are lying. So
It's a white lie.
because of your backstory, I'll say a charm with only a -10.
Should I go with deceive?
Oh,
Because
sorry,
it is
yeah,
also
sorry.
partly-
Yeah, deceive with just a -10.
It's not Warhammer Fantasy. There's Deceive and Charm in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. There's more to my story that I'm not saying. It's only
Okay.
it's only 1 degree of failure, so she might fail hers.
I doubt it. She's a spire noble. They tend to be pretty facey.
Yeah.
I don't see
Oh,
it. Though.
ouch. Ouch.
So let me just start off. You have a tech priest with you.
Hello.
Most of you appear to be well armed, well equipped, and you're trying to play off as refugees from another world, which there have been a large influx of refugees, but all of those who had standing on their own world found positions on this world immediately. Why is it that you're still in the Underhive? Exactly?
We have a particular different set of skills, I guess you could say, my lady. But that's not truly what is important right now. What is important right now is that we take care of. She's gonna look at Tiffany's, wounded eye, make sure Tiffany gets proper medical attention, and that we find a way to deal with those barbarians down there.
I am most curious to know how they managed to breach a Mechanicus network. That sort of feat is usually not accomplishable by one not of the machine cult, and yet someone was clearly trying to lock me out.
Yes, it is unusual that a Mechanicus would be in the Underhive. Never mind.
Well, there
I
are
will
still
not-
things that have to be maintained down there, so
I
it
will
is
not
not
question
completely
any
out of the
further.
question.
Your group has done me and the Poison Kiss a valuable service. But let's not fuck each other about, shall we? I would much rather, if you want to keep your secrets, as long as they do not affect me or my girls, fine. I won't pry. But if you bring trouble to any of my doors because of your secrets, then obviously you will go on my shit list. But again, I owe you. As far as I can see, you've saved 3 valuable people who I treasure. However, on that note, you would all note that Mandy and Saffron both took a seat and they both took a drink. Nightshade pulls out a gun and shoots Saffron in the face, killing her.
Ow!
Oh my god.
Wow.
I just taken a back. Just like
Liliana's gonna look first at Saffron, then she's gonna look at Tiffany, then she's gonna look at the group, and she's just gonna put her hand down to basically tell them to be still, don't move.
The
What
pistol,
just happened?
the pistol that fired, there isn't a big bang booming as she draws her weapon that seems to slide from her forearm down into her hand. There is a pop, and a small needle goes straight into Saffron's head. She begins convulsing before foaming at the mouth and dying. Mandy jumps up, grabs hold of her, and starts trying to shake her and almost goes to grab the needle and pull it out. She was a traitor, Mandy. Leave her. She played upon your sympathies for her position and used you. I have the logs. But why couldn't... Did you... Mandy, have a drink. I'm sorry it went like that, but I couldn't trust that she wasn't broadcasting, had a device in her. I have learnt some troubling news, and I could not risk our enemies finding it out. How did you... I do not like people who betray my confidence. I deal with that quickly, as you can see. You are right, Tech Priest. The acid riot should not have been able to override the door controls. They shouldn't have been able to deal with the poison kiss at all. I've spent vast amount of money to ensure that they are equipped enough to be able to protect themselves and the citizens around them, but not overly equipped that they would draw any suspicion. In fact, my dealings with the poison kiss are unknown to anyone within my circles.
At least that is what you think. So, who could be bankrolling the acid riot then?
No one was. However, I am most assured that someone is. Someone very powerful. And I mean to find out who. Not for political intrigue, but to find out why they are trying to destabilize the hive. It's bad for everyone.
there's some weird shit going on in the Underhive, so
No.
maybe connected.
Weird in the underhives. That's a dead land. That's not connected to... what is it that you're on about?
Well, when we went to acquire some materials for you, at least I'm assuming it was for you since it was for Tiffany.
Tiffany nods and confirms you got them fungus.
You ran into some very unsettling peoples down there. There was a weird, strange, disturbing feeling about the place.
You mean the wardens?
No.
No,
There are
we-
secrets down there.
We met them after our confrontation.
On our way out, so to speak.
They
But we-
said something about the enemy.
we run into some sort of a mutant nest.
They are down there. She gives you a really and?
And there was a strange feeling, like a coldness.
Are you sure that was not just your head trauma?
I'm
You
very
hit
sure.
my head a few times.
Let's just... I don't mean
It's-
to be... I'm not interested. It's the Underhive. Who do I look like? The planetary governors? The Inquisition? The Lord Commander? I
just want to say you're talking about stability and something's going on down there. And
Mordecai, it's an underhive. When are things not going out down there? Also, that laugh was totally in character.
Well, no, you're talking about the Underhive. The lower
Yeah.
hive is where citizens can be used. The Underhive, no one gives a shit about. So she's just like, and
Yeah, but-
like,
It's like whoever it is may be down there to avoid you if you don't already know who they are.
Oh, for the love of...
the only group that I know of down in the Underhive is the Wild Wardens. And we have a deal with them where they provide muscle and we provide them aid. They haven't told me of any mysterious group moving in the shadows. As far as I'm aware, Alucard is quite happy to keep his people safe and secure, living free, as he puts it. She has kind of a bemused look on her face, like living free and down there. Okay.
I doubt he would have told you. He seems to be a fan of clearance levels.
Yes, from his old guard days, I should imagine. But that's, again, neither here nor there when it comes to what is going on up here. And she kind of admits down there, the lower hive.
Yeah. Just trying to be useful. I don't know you well enough to know what's useful to you yet. Well, guess now I do.
Yeah, the hive does have its secrets, but I don't think it's linked to the acid riot, Mordecai. So whatever is happening down there is currently irrelevant. But like my friend Jenny here just said, someone had access they shouldn't have, and they had far better gear and tactics than the acid riot should, from what I heard.
Well, they also may have brought our little lift ride to the attention of the local mechanicus, which they might know of us now, but they have not acted upon it yet. So
I
whoever
will-
it was monitoring the lift is at least curious.
I will attempt to do something about the Mechanicus. If I can, I will pull as many contacts as possible to try and get them to understand that you were not destructive forces, if that's any
Yeah.
way to put it.
No offense, but that one I can explain myself.
Well, someone needs to make sure that the Mechanicus don't begin sending its Scutari enforcers out. I know the Mechanicus enclave in this hive is small, but they still have their own Scutari enforcers. And they do send them out when they need to repair vital systems to protect their tech priests and servitors. I would prefer if they didn't take over all access to the elevators whilst they investigate. So, fortunately, I do have some connections within the Mechanicus. I will see if I can smooth things over as best I can. To that end, I suppose, she goes into one of her drawers, probably not her bottom drawer, but she goes into one of them and pulls out a shit. I can't remember what it's called. Is it a data wafer? No, it's not. It's a transaction wafer. It's a microchip of some variety.
It's a certified crit stick.
It's basically it is. She places it on the table, and there is 100,000 thrones on that device. Take it as payment for saving Urza and Tiffany, and of course Mandy.
Although I don't think we will say no to the money, my motives for going there were not money. I went down there to save a friend.
I went to back up a friend.
Still, this at least conveys that I am grateful for what you've done. And considering the situation, you may have to lay low here for a few days. So I'm sure I'll recap some of that. Not too cheap here, as she gestures to one of the girls to get her another drink.
Well, we are in the middle hive, are we not? I wonder if that job offer is still open.
Really think you're moving up here full time?
I doubt we can afford it. Besides, don't forget why we're here in the first place.
Diana's gonna just shake her head. She's gonna whisper to Jenny, "You do realize we're in the middle of a conversation and you're going off in a completely different tangent, right?"
I just cough and go.
Yes.
Just cough and go. Sorry, aren't
Lily-
used to meeting with nobility.
Lena's gonna give an awkward grin to Jenny, and then she's gonna look at Cyrus. She's gonna just give a apologetic bow or something. "Thank you for this money. I will make sure that we, well, use it well, and we'll be more than happy to help you in the future. We never leave friends behind, so to say." And she's going to look at Tiffany.
You do get a squeeze from Tiffany if she's holding your hand or still holding your shoulder, or however you two are sat on the couch.
Okay.
What's happened to the others, Ceres? What were our losses? Tiffany, I don't think this is... Ceres, tell me. We have completely lost all contact with all of our forces in the lower hive, Zeta Padlock. All of our holdings requested immediate support, and radio contact was lost. As far as the pick feeds that I've been able to get access to, she just shakes her head. It's not good. Tiffany just goes white.
Zeta?
Yes.
I'm going to give Tiffany a comforting squeeze of her hand, shoulder, whatever.
Low sticks are pretty much being smoked by all the Poison Kiss members. Sarah's takes one out, Tiffany, the two girls, Mandy.
I'll smoke one too. Everybody smoke.
For now, my plan is to let them think that they've won. In a few days, maybe a week, I'd like it to be sooner, I will send as many of my allies as I can down to investigate. As few Poison Kiss members as possible. But why wouldn't you let us? You're too attached. If I send you down there, Tiffany, and you see what they've done, you'll go into a bloody rage. And then I'll lose you as well. I'll more than likely send either see if the Mechanicus will give me any information, or I'll have to send those of the Manufactorums or others. She gives your group a quick glance over, but then returns to Tiffany. I can't risk it at the moment, Tiffany, but don't get me wrong. I am planning, and I am going to find out how this has happened, and we are going to take our revenge, but it will take time. Tiffany just goes a little bit unresponsive for a while, just thinking about all her friends who are now dead. And worse. We do, however, have another problem. If I cannot talk my contacts in the Mechanicus into aiding us, then the Arbites may end up investigating this themselves. If they do, then we can expect a storm to come. And I don't know how many of us I will be able to protect. Remember, I am not above the Arbites. I can only do so much, and this is why, she looks over at Jenny, I try to keep myself disconnected from the Poison Kiss as best I can.
Perhaps a Mechanicus intervention would be beneficial in the long run.
Well, if the Arbites do investigate, we have a 1/3 chance that we will at least have a sympathetic ear. However, 2/3 of that could end quite badly for us.
Liliana is gonna look up. We would be more than happy to assist you with that. I do believe we can.
Why such low odds?
Liliana...
There are only 3 Arbite investigators on World. That may seem like quite a small number, but the simple fact is that the planetary governess many years ago decided that a secret military police would work just as well, as they would have far fewer connections to the nobility. They assist the Arbites in investigations of the upper and spire areas.
Problem being, 2 of those are in the pockets of the enemy.
Is that why we've got that job? He just kind of mutters to himself, just kind of like, oh.
Without looking, Liliana's just gonna give a small nod.
Again,
Well, I had hoped that we would have far more competent people placed on that job, but you must understand
hurt us.
that your conversations up till now have been very peculiar. I am fighting my urges not to pry deeper.
I
But-
do apologize about that.
By the sheer token of us standing here, you know we are capable operatives, if nothing more.
Perhaps of murder, of killing gangers. I had hoped for someone with a little bit of finesse, with killings of a less direct means.
there are
We have
some of.
means. Don't worry. It's just although a quirky group, we work well together and we
We have
guarantee results.
means. We just never had reasons to use those means.
More subtle. We do, yeah, more subtle means, and I just kind of give Liliana a side eye. It's like,
Anyone can shoot someone and kill them. Anyone can stab someone and kill them. Poison is actually one of our preferred ways, but that leads back to us. I was hoping for someone who'd be more ingenious about how they would dispose of. But again,
Yes, but
Well,
are there any candles around, or any like open flames or anything?
no.
don't please, for the love of Christ, out of
yes,
character,
but
please.
can anyone perform an open heart surgery? Hmm?
Can you perform?
Yes. Yes, I can.
And never mind.
Yes,
They are investigators. Accidents in their line of work do happen. And we can make sure those accidents are not linked to you.
Well, at least you're on the right mind track. Accident.
And she's also gonna look. Also, although it's not poison, there was something that the acid red kingers are on. That could also be helpful.
there are.
Although,
Point is, we have our
perhaps
means.
accidents would be a
Well,
better
apparently
way.
the acid riot had access to servitors. Rather shoddy quality that they are prone to malfunctions.
I'm sorry, what?
She's
Yes.
store on the pick feeds.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a servitor of even a decent quality. It looked like it was quite nearly heaped together from scram, but it was there.
She has a really shocked, puzzled look on her face where she's just obviously thinking about this new information. That's impossible. The acid riot, they would have to have connections in order. They would. Huh.
They just precisely what
It's
the servitors is.
obviously-
The servitors are one of the reasons why we think they're connected on high up.
No
Plus-
offense, lady, but did you think you're the only one that could buy out a gang?
I thought I was the only one who cared about bringing more stability to
Clearly.
citizens'
You
I'm
lives.
I'm not talking about stability or care. I'm talking about using someone as a blunt force.
But
They're the
what?
sledgehammer.
But there is no benefit.
Yeah, there is. Plausible deniability.
No
Yeah,
benefit.
The lower hive.
No.
Who's
And
gonna?
then-
You are not looking
When
at the bigger
all
picture.
seems lost, swoop in as the savior.
That's not good enough. You don't understand. Look at the bigger picture. Do do something like this. Block Zeta is a large area. If that area is taken out of commission, all manufactorums in the surrounding area suffer. Their productivity drops. The hive's economy falls. Do you not see? This is not just about coming in and getting notoriety.
And what if that's precisely the point?
This is far more than someone getting to parade a group around that they finance. In the upper spires, they don't care about gangs. There's no notoriety, there's no glory to be brought from this.
We may be
Tells me we
dealing
need to
with
stop
something
thinking
nefarious.
in terms of spires.
Could it just simply be one of your fellow nobles just wanting to get back at you for something?
No, I am not connected. You need...
Oh,
In my circles, there is no one who knows of my actions here. I do everything through third, fourth, or fifth companies. I have worked very hard on this.
That knows.
Liliana's gonna look. Perhaps we're looking in the wrong direction. Like I said, perhaps the person or entity that is at work here is doing this not out of spite or anything against you, but for a more nefarious reason that involves, well, not us, or not you, but the entire hive. Like you said, if they cripple the entire hive, who benefits?
I don't know. No one...
I have returned.
Perhaps... If... No. I don't see how anyone in the upper spires or the hut... They wouldn't benefit from this
Stop
action.
thinking about the upper spires. You see, you are thinking that someone is doing it for their personal gain. What if they have a different agenda in mind?
Liliana's gonna give a side glance to
This
Darius.
is merely a distraction for something that they would prefer to keep under wraps.
Perhaps you won't forgive me for asking this, but is there any road trader house, or is there anyone off-world that has any interest in this, well, world hive that they have not been getting?
I don't have that information at hand. I can try and find out. I know there are a number of nobles who have connections, family ties with rogue traders. There are a number of larger syndicate companies that deal with rogue traders and other traders of the Imperium for arms manufacture, what the hive produces. But
It may even be out of character. There's still a governess in this spire that is, handling everything, right?
so
The
what was that?
governor's
Yes, the
unload
governess.
commander of the system.
Yeah, Liliana's just gonna say perhaps someone is trying to destabilize the power of even the governess in an attempt to take hold of the power. We can't know for sure yet.
That
but
is possible.
like I said, looking at the bigger picture, it may be something a lot bigger than we were thinking.
When anarchy racks over a city or a hive, in this case, generally it falls into martial law. So do with that what you will, but this might not be the case. There's a lot of possibilities here.
If Block Zeta does not calm itself, then perhaps they will bring in martial law on that floor and the floors above and under it. This is a possibility. They could lock down the lower hive altogether. That would cause a lot of disruptions in the production line of many, many items. This is completely out of what I'm used to dealing with. I keep a gang well supplied and teach them some decent morals so that everyone can better from it. I try to help them understand that this is not the life that the God Emperor intended for them, that he wanted them to have better, but I am no investigator.
Miss, you kept saying that no one knows that you supply this gang or whatever. And then motion to the body. Didn't you not say that she's a spy? How do you know you're not maid?
Because Ceres Nightshade is not my real name, for one. This is not how I dress normally, and I have taken great pains to cover up my deceptions.
And yet, if she's seen you before, you
I'm
can
sorry.
change clothes,
Some
change mannerism. You cannot exactly very easily change the face.
Mandy, how many times have you been in here? Mandy, who's still in shock and still looks at her former lover's body. Never, mistress. How many times have we met, face to face? Never, mistress. The girls do eventually take Saffron's body out. They don't leave it in there forever, but
Although perhaps you are safe, I don't think what Terrace is trying to convey is that it doesn't hurt to make sure. Just check.
You had one spy. Who's to say you don't have more?
Let me know she has an elongated tongue.
And more than that, we do know that our current mutual enemy does have access to things they shouldn't have, such as servitors.
this is true. However, as I've said before, the poison kiss is, forgive me, Tiffany, nothing but a gang. They are a gang that was always worked for the betterment, but they're not used for political intrigue or anything. Well, some of the girls who have been vetted work in the upper hive, in another establishment that is owned by me but through several other names. It's not directly named owned by me.
Well, like I said, even if you are isolated and insulated from the poison kiss, maybe, just maybe, check it. It never hurts to be too careful. But as to the other problem at hand, I do not believe our bodies head towards the lower hive, usually, do they? Are they stationed in the middle hive, or are they stationed in the upper hive? Would you know that?
The Arbites, they are in the upper hive, the one level above you now. One whole level, so upper hive.
Okay. Liliana's gonna look at Jenny and say, "We'll need time to prepare those accidents, and we'll need to find out what their routes are, but
We have too many competing theses and not enough data to compile an answer. Although I look at Mordecai, maybe we should have a chat with the Wild Wardens again.
do think they know more than they let on.
Oh, they certainly do. And they should be able to provide quite a unique perspective.
As long as Darius doesn't try to kill them.
Twists, turns, whatever the fuck they are, they're still mutants.
We can just not bring him to the meeting.
Hey!
Darius, remember what we talked about. Some mutants are good. Just give him, like, staring daggers at him.
I'm gonna be right back.
Sorry, Darius, was it? If, and I imagine you will, spend a few days laying low here, try and stay out of the bar. Some of the girls have come up from the Wild Wardens. Those that are attractive enough to work here, but are only 5 or 6 points away from humanity, if that makes more sense to you. Don't hurt them.
I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Won't hurt
All I
anyone.
know is what says in the primer is fear the mutant. I don't trust him. I don't trust a lot of things anyway, but
I just look at it and go, we're working on him.
The primer is always right.
And who's
Damn
working on you, exactly? He says to Mordecai.
That would be me.
Powers beyond my control.
Well, Emperor help you then.
well, no, he's fine as long as he doesn't start talking about gerbils again.
It was one time, okay?
It was multiple times.
There's a time and a location for those sort of talks. Please behave.
Need I ask Hector to play the recording again?
Please don't.
Need I ask what an eagle is again?
Please don't.
An eagle is a flying bird. Have you never... Just take the Aquila and remove one of the heads, and that's what an eagle looks like when its wings are spread and it looks to the side.
But if you remove a head of an aquila, that's gonna kill the aquila, right?
Just figuratively. And an Aquila is only alive in our hearts, not actually alive.
Is this true?
That sounds like heresy. I mean,
I see statues of aquillas all the time. They gotta be real sometime.
Liliana's not gonna facepalm audibly. She's just gonna put her hand to her forehead. Would you please stop talking about that?
Listen,
Again,
all
we're
I'm saying is I've
guests.
never seen an eagle. I have seen an aquila.
Liliana's gonna look at Nightshade. I do apologize. They are idiots.
I'm not always an idiot. Just when I'm around him.
I'm just gonna raise a hand to basically stop talking.
Well,
Again, I apologize.
I imagine it's been quite long for all of you, especially Tiffany. Out of this room, she gestures to one of the other girls. Show them to our overnight rooms. In fact, you've all just been paid 20,000 thrones each, so remove 500 thrones each and put them in the guest suite above the club. Provide meals and entertainment if they need it, but I would ask that none of you take your weapons out of this building. If the enforcers see you walking out of here with some of that equipment, they will raid this place. I am not able to provide immunity I can only beg and ask that my people's transgressions are looked upon favourably, or to ask allies to assist me some way.
Thank you again for your assistance getting here from the left.
Yes, I will need to resolve that problem as well. But that should be easier done, hopefully. Now, if there's nothing else to be said, I will come back in a few days. Tiffany, you have access to my office, as does Urza, if you need anything. And I will inform you if we can find any survivors, or if anyone else makes it out. Tiffany nods along. And Mandy's kind of just... But how did you know? That wasn't even Mandy's voice. How do you know? How did you know she was a spy? Ah. She goes into her top drawer and brings forth a data slate and places it down in front so that Mandy can see. Saffron was not an intelligent girl, I'm afraid. She didn't realise that all of our Vox, they're all recorded. If you send a message from the club, it's recorded and sent to me. You can see here that she was sending messages to the Acid Riots Club. I had hoped that I would have gained some insight, to be honest, but it turns out that she was just feeding information one way, and very quickly. She was only doing it for a week, maybe, before this incident happened, and I'm sorry, I should have moved quicker. I had hoped to find out who was aiding the acid riot. Mandy just holds on to the slate, looking at it. Yeah, she's just staring at the slate. Anyway, girls, show them to their rooms. By all means, Mandy, Tiffany, if you wish to wait, you can.
Lillian is gonna look at Tiffany and see what she's going to do.
I'm tired. I think I need to... She kind of clutches, like goes to put her hand on her head and puts her hand on like where her wound is around her eye, and you can see her wince, and perhaps that would be a... I'll have the Medicaid come by tomorrow.
If you get an augmented eye, you know who can install it.
I'm sorry,
do you only do it get made?
Does Tiffany have a permanent room in this facility? Or is there a facility I can lead her to? Well,
so
waters.
Tiffany will probably just go up to your area, and then if she needs to find a room of her own, she'll go to a room of her own. But for now,
I'll
she's just
lead her
heading
to my
up
room
in
for
that
now.
direction.
Yeah, I'll lead her to my room for now.
And it's so there's no other way to really put it. It's an area where you can rent from a strip club that has multiple rooms, a party area, a seating area, a pick screen. You know what those bedrooms are used for, but there's a decent number of them. There's enough for all of you, and then probably plus 2 or 3 extra rooms. So
we're probably getting the VIP room, so it's fine. It should be clean.
Mean.
Just for the love of the almighty God Emperor, Jenny, do not bring out a black light to this club. Or to our rooms. Like, ever. The shit you see on the walls, on the ceilings, ugh.
Why would I do that?
Just don't.
Hector, aren't you equipped with a black light?
Don't, just don't. I don't want you to take insanity points.
Processing,
Or corruption
processing.
points.
I do not believe the Omnisire has gifted me with this hallowed instrument.
One day, Hector, one day.
Thank the Emperor.
Does it have an ogre array?
It certainly does not have an ogre array now.
No, it doesn't have an auger. It's not that type. It's a Medicaid.
Now I'm imagining a server skull with an oghrin attached underneath it. God damn it.
So, you all make your way out of Nightshade's office and make your way up to the estate. Much like the fantasy game, it's an estate room. It's a large room with multiple, where you can all have yourselves a room. There is a kitchen area, there's a hot plate and a fridge that has some nibbles in it. And there is also a Vox caster. There's a phone, so you can ring down to the club and get food brought up if you want it.
Okay.
Why 2d66?
Ignore that. Ignore that.
Okay. So, 3 days pass as you spend this time recovering in the estate room above the Thirsty Eagle strip club. You can spend a few days if you had any projects. Projects can be done. But I'm going to skim over the 3 days of what events take place. So the first day, nothing really happens of note. The second day, you are sent a microwafer. When you insert it into your data slates, it's a document from Nightshade that basically states that she's looked into things. The Mechanicus have been sated. The recordings that they have of you will not be passed on to the Magistratum. The Mechanicus are going to hold on to them themselves. She doesn't find out any information about rogue traders connected to nobility. She just couldn't find anything. But she does have some interesting tidbits. So the God, I need the Adeptus sheet, come to me. The Adeptus, not Mechanicus, not Terra. Which one is it? It is the Adeptus Administratum. Yes, So the Adeptus Munitorum, for a start, have been putting in large orders, far larger than normal, which is putting a real strain on the hive's manufacturing. And when she looked into why there's such a problem going on, she was able to look into the Adeptus Administratum. And from the Adeptus Administratum, she found out that the accident rate within the manufactorums has skyrocketed, and that investigators from the Adeptus Arbites and the secret military police are going to start investigating why the accident rate has increased so much. She also adds on, which is she's not sure if this is wholly important, but she tells you that the fatality rate in those accidents is larger than it probably should be, especially in the lower hives. And
I can attest to that personally.
And on the third day, as you're all sat around eating breakfast, the pick feed? Yes, sorry. Basically the TV in your room turns on and goes to full volume as an announcement for the hive goes out. A mandatory broadcast by the planetary governess.
Shit.
As you've seen before, the planetary governess and her nobility are sat on a raised plinth along with the Lord Commander. The Lord Commander stands alone, only his mascot sits with him. Again, his mascot being a raccoon-like mammal that has been cyberized with numerous bits and bobs. You can't quite tell what they're all for.
I'm sorry.
God fucking damn it,
The
Sue.
planetary governor is only accompanied by one other person. A person that you haven't seen before in the pick recordings. A grizzled old man who, although he looks extremely old, there is a glow about him. Much like you saw with Ceres. He appears to be in a military uniform, but Darius, you can't tell which regiment or which part of the Adeptus Munitorum he's meant to be with. It's...
Can I try?
Yeah, you can roll.
Could I try too?
Sure.
What would I need to roll?
No, you'd have to have a specific skill, so you'd have to have Imperial Guard.
I've got common lower Imperial Guard.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that one.
I also have an Imperial Primer, but I don't think that counts towards regiments. No, it doesn't. There's nothing in the primer about regiments.
So yeah, you could roll. You could roll your not Imperial Creed. What's the law for regiments that you should have as a guardsman?
Imperial Guard. There's Scholastic Lore and Tactica Imperialis, but I don't have that yet.
Oh, I was sure there was a skill. Maybe it is just Imperial Guard. Sure,
Imperial
you
Guard
could-
covers everything for the Guard, and then there's Navy and everything else like that. There's War.
No, sure, you can roll Imperial Guard.
Okay.
And everyone can roll me. Everyone can roll me perception, awareness with a -60. So that would have been an amazing roll on the other one.
I can't make
Oh,
that.
son of a bitch!
No, because you can only make it with a 1 or a 2.
Oh, sure,
If
try.
if you're at that.
Fuck me.
Nope. Big nope.
I got close.
No.
I know that was
Why not?
Darius that
Let's
got
try.
close.
I mean, if there wasn't a minus there, I would be close.
Darius, if you roll me a 1d2, you want a 1.
Right. So I've pinned it down to like 2 regiments or something.
So, Darius, you scrutinise this uniform. It's through a pick feed, but this pick recorder, this pick caster or whatever, I can't remember what the fucking word is. The TV that you're watching is quite good quality. Yeah, it's basically a TV that you guys are looking at that's showing the pick feed.
Okay.
Or the video feed from the servo skulls. They're all quite high quality, so you're able to get more detail than what you would think. So as you're really looking at the uniform, you cannot tell where the hell this uniform is from. It's almost as if it's a made up one. And then you notice something glitter for only a moment at the bottom of this individual's coat. Very, very small. In silver thread. The stylized eye. The Inquisition.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay.
Unlike last time, or the other pick recordings that you've seen where the planetary governor speaks first, this time it is the Lord Commander. I can't even remember what his voice was, and I never put a note down. So he can be Scottish. Why not?
Yes, Techno Scott.
Techno Scotland lives!
Techno Scotland.
Jack von Las Sebastian Roy. It's kind of a Scottish German.
Sounds French.
Can he do a Scottish German?
Okay.
You just have to sound very aggressively to sound German.
I might be able to do that.
Or incredibly calm.
Scottish accent.
I'll try and do the angry one. Shall we do that one? Citizens of Hive Agorafria, it is my sorrow to tell you all that there have been many accidents within the Hive, and we are going to be putting parts of it into martial law. We are doing this for the good of the citizens, to keep you safe. We will also be doing everything we can to investigate what is going on. And I tell you now, as it is my duty to protect this Hive city and this subsector, I will be getting reinforcements come through from the Ultima Segmentum. They will assist if I find anything out of the odds. I will not let this world fall to heresy again.
Again?
He sits down at that, and you can hear clapping. You're not quite sure where it comes from, but you can hear clapping. And the servo skulls zoom round, showing the Lord Commander is full 360 as he turns, his cloak flapping, walking back to his basically his throne, where his raccoon climbs onto the side as he sits down and then gets back onto his lap. The planetary governess then stands up and walks to her pedestal. Thank you, Lord Commander. As always, we admire your devotion to protecting us and the subsector as a whole. And far more, might I add. Yes, this world has had issues and it has fallen once, but I, like the Lord Commander, will not let it fall again. And for this, I believe that the world and the surrounding subsector would benefit from us applying ourselves more to the rest of the Imperium's code. we will be removing our regimental standard. We will be going back to the Imperial standard, or we will be going to the Imperial standard for regiment deployment. Along with this happy and hallowed news, a new founding shall be formed to celebrate this return to Imperial... Shit, the words just lost me. No.
It's return to Imperial shit.
No. Imperial doctrine. Shit, that was the word. Damn it.
Okay.
We'll be going to Imperial doctrine for our regimental format from now on. To some of you, this will be a shock that we are rejecting our old traditions. But for many more of you, this will be a joyous occasion, for you will be the first... what regiment will it be now? It will be the... No, so it will be going back to Imperial Standard. So there have been 74 reinforcements. So they will go to the 74th, the 75th, the 76th, the 77th. You will be the 77th Santa Fe Regiment. With that, the cheers go crazy. Just the volume seems to be set to a ridiculous number. And as the servo skull zooms round the planetary governess, everyone please give me awareness checks with a -30.
Hey, I can actually make that.
My target is 0.
Same.
Fucking hell.
Oh no! You know what? The only reason why I'm going to use a fate point right now is because I have a maximum. I have 4,
Oh,
and besides, I
yes?
don't like hundreds. I just don't. I don't want to choke and die on a spoon or something while I'm
This,
eating
I
ice
have
cream.
a
I don't know.
question.
Sure.
I just
Why
better.
do the bolt guns on our hips, hmm?
No, none of you do. None of you bought one, so...
I mean, they are
Well, the
highly,
Santa Fe.
highly illegal.
Oh, yes. But if you want
also,
one, I can get you one.
Well, but look at the chat.
Oh dear.
So, unfortunately, none of you notice as the servo skull spins round, capturing the planetary governess. You don't see what's in the background. But the rest of the nobles surrounding her seem very, very pleased. For the next probably an hour, there are hymns and prayers to the God Emperor. There are pick recordings of the ecclesiarchy, churches and chapels, and just all different celebrations coming from the Church of the Imperium, basically. And there are several not hymns, but regimental songs from the Santa Fean regiments that play out. Yes, that one does play out indeed.
I love it took you this long to realize. Just.
So,
The song was even played during character creation.
Yes, it was.
It was on loop.
Yes, it was.
So
we know
What I'm getting
that-
at is we all should have made a quester with a bolt gun on his hip, like all Desperado Party.
we do know that this guy is Inquisition, right? Did
Only
Darius
one of
tell
us knows.
Then never mind.
Did you really not know that, Waldo? Like
No, I
that's
didn't.
old,
I've never heard of that before. Okay.
that song is old as shit.
A good song.
I've heard of the original song. I've never heard parody. Okay. But yeah. So does that mean we're gonna get drafted into the guard? Because that could be non-conducive to our mission.
No, this is a perfect cover.
Pretty sure we can't get drafted to the guard.
You're not registered. You're not registered
Yes.
to the to Agrafria's citizen roster. So
Doesn't that ever stop the press gang?
well, no. So the press gangs, they still need to register you. So every citizen has a register ID, a social security number for an easier term. And if you're an unregistered citizen, then there are problems. How the fuck did you get here? Why aren't you? That's when, you find out that they're a cultist or they're an inquisitor or an inquisitor's party or, it's not the norm to just have random people turn up. Except from if you're raiding the Underhive. The Underhive, they just shoot everything in there, just purge it. And if they have to purge the lower hives, sure, they purge the lower hives, but they still have to know how many citizens they have, who's working, who gets there. Because even the lower hivers can get, well, in some worlds, can get benefits through registering their kids. Because then they know that their kids can work and, they get extra rations and things. But I digress. So you've got 3 days. If you want to do any projects in those 3 days, you can.
I would like to buy clothes for the middle hive during this time. So I actually look like a middle hiver.
Sure.
I
you can
Don't
do
know
that.
how much a middle hiver clothes.
And also a backpack.
cost.
You see, my Chirurgeon robes are perfect fit everywhere.
I think you look nicer in your engine seer robes, to be honest.
Would 100 thrones be enough for a middle hive clothing attire?
I'd probably say 50 thrones would get you just normal citizen gear. 100 thrones would show that you're a wealthy middle hiver.
I'm gonna spend 70 so I can be in between.
Sure.
I look good, but
Just
not
mark
filthy
down.
rich.
Yeah, just mark down, clothing, middle hive, 70 thrones.
I will do the
Okay.
same.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Can I spend 76?
Yeah, if you want.
Then I have a nice round number.
Oh yes, Ezio, you also got 20,000 thrones. Just in case you want to
Yeah,
that.
I've talked about it in Discord.
I already
Thanks for reminding me.
I thought we got 19.5k, not 20k.
we got 19.5 because of the 500 that we paid for the rooms. Each of us had to pay.
Right.
I already,
yeah.
the math.
19.5.
Also, how much would it be for a backpack that hides my weapons?
A backpack that hides your weapons. I don't. So, just a normal backpack will hide some equipment. Obviously, if you're filling it with weapons, they're going to be poking out. They're going to be, if someone searches it, they're going to be able to find it. Normally, you would have to actually make something. So you're buying or making something with a concealed bottom. So, you have a big rucksack, but in the back of the rucksack, there's a hollow area that you hold a lasgun in, or so on and so forth. You would either need to have it built, or I would have to go through and specially make it, because there isn't one in the book. So I don't know at the moment. I suppose you could say a best quality backpack would do it, but I don't think that would give you any bonuses to concealing your weapon. Like a concealed holster has a -20, as far as I'm aware, to be found. So I don't think just a good quality, best quality backpack would do that for you. And at the moment, getting something like that is not in your... You can't leave the strip club. You don't have a merchant who you can go to and say, "Hi, I'd like a backpack that's got a concealable area for this rifle in." You would need to talk to Dodgy Dave or Mr. Black about it.
That's
I
something.
forgot if did we ever ask if he had some other addresses?
That's something we can do after the session, I'm sure.
No, Mr. Black doesn't have any other addresses. If you want, you could send him a message to get him moved from his landing bay up, but you've got to pay for him to pack all of his shit up and then come up a level.
I think I could also have a talk with Shani about, do you need to be here to get some implants? Or would I know that just by being an Imperial citizen?
What are you
You're a
asking?
former
How
guard,
you
aren't
get implants, like
Yes,
cybernetic gear? Cybernetic equipment is very much out of. So for you to get poor quality, you can do it as an Imperial citizen.
No, not acquiring them. I was asking. It was more, does my character know you can replace without it being hurt?
Yes, your character would know you can replace things. Albie, can you move your mic away from your mouth a little bit? You're getting a lot of blowback, so I'm missing out a couple of your words from it.
Better now.
Little bit.
Not really.
There was some at the end.
Now?
Much better.
Much better.
Molto bene.
Alright.
So yeah, you can. You would know that if you feel like your arm's not strong enough, that you can replace it if you want.
Alright. That was my question.
But yeah, it's just acquiring good cybernetics at the moment.
Yeah, that's
It's not impossible. It's not impossible. You have the money now where you can throw money at the problem. It's just you do need to go to a well-equipped Medicae who has connections with the Mechanicus, because they have to buy it from the Mechanicus to then sell it.
Would Jenny be able to get some?
She's not registered with the Mechanicus Enclave on this world. So whilst she
yeah.
could go in to get some, if they start asking questions like, okay, brother, which Mechanicus Enclave are you registered to? And we'll get the order put through immediately. It's like, you would be better off going to someone like... You could ask the Poison Kiss to see if they have anyone who they can, a Medicae that does work on them who can acquire it from the Mechanicus, but then you are going to pay more because the Medicae who acquires it is going to want a cut.
Alright. Thank you.
I want to go to the Poison Kiss because I want to see if I can help Tiffany get a cybernetic eye. I think it counts as augmented senses.
You don't need to worry about Tiffany. She's going to be well set.
Okay. I wanted to do something for her, but if she's going to be taking care, then I'll just be with her for the 3 days.
The Poison Ceres Nightshade will sort to Tiffany. Considering she's one of the controllers of that area, her and Urza are pretty well looked after in that department anyway.
Okay. Then never mind then. I'll just, spend the time with Tiffany. And the body, since we're not doing much for now. But Liliana will be worried for Tiffany, so she'll be spending time with Tiffany.
Okay. So, as there's nothing else that anyone wanted to do in those 3 days, you do heal up an extra 2 hit points whilst you are staying at the Thirsty Eagle, so you get 3 hit points a day. You don't lose any insanity or any corruption, unfortunately. There's it's not that kind of place. But right at the end of the recording, there is a announcement from the Adeptus Arbites that says, citizens of the lower hive, please stay locked indoors during curfew hours. Only go to your designated work areas when informed. There will be road and
Checkpoints.
access checkpoints and delays. And it's just like an informative note about how fucked up the Habs gonna be over the next couple of weeks or days, however long this lasts.
Did he during these 3 days did he hear anything about the Abides going down to the lower hive to investigate something, or they are not going?
So the secret
'Cause-
police and the Arbites are investigating, but at the moment you don't get any word of them actually moving. Like, they might be sending. So for the Arbites, for example, they will be sending down enforcers into that area to patrol streets for a while and to kind of show that imperial law is in effect. But the Arbites haven't made a move. They're still in the upper hive in their fortress precinct.
Okay. Also, there's one thing I would like to study when I'm not with Tiffany. I would like to try and find out how these accidents have been happening, what types of accidents these have been, if it's basically just explosions or if it's malfunctioning equipment or what. Because we can actually use those to hide how we can kill the Arbites.
Sure. Okay. So essentially,
Why do we want to kill the Arbites?
you need to kill 2 Arbites.
We need to kill 2 Arbites. They're with the acid man.
We were contracted to.
So you don't actually have access to any cognites in this place that have research, but
I hate it already.
But you are able to send messages up to Ceres through her connections, and she's able to look into it a little bit for you.
Okay.
You get a message on the 3rd day informing you that it's non-Mechanicus holdings. So these accidents are not taking place in Mechanicus operated manufactorums, and they're not happening in manufactorums that have licenses to make STC parts or products. All of these accidents are happening in privately owned manufactorums that make, for example, things like buttons, things like hive-made stub revolvers, things like basic clothing that needs to be made. All random items that need to be made within a hive so that it can function, plus some shitty weapons that the underhivers can use to kill themselves with, are the ones that are having these accidents happen in them.
Okay.
But Ceres is unable to get any more information than that.
That is good information.
She basically got that from her Mechanicus contact.
Do we
And who might that be? Perhaps a fellow Ceres? No?
do we get some more info on the new regiment?
I'd like to point out that those things that are being hit are things that aren't actually affecting the upper nobles, because nobles get their stuff imported.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just stuff that's affecting the lower classes.
Yeah, but still, say for instance they're investigating something that the Mechanicus isn't around. There may be a gas leak and they die due to, being stuck in a room with a gas leak.
I know that was just as an example, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yes, I know. It's an example. Maybe something will explode in there next to it.
Yeah, maybe they just happen to catch fire, you know.
No, that's not an accident.
Would you say that it would be a shame if they were to spontaneously combust?
Oh, are vehicles are made not are vehicles made privately by people on the Hive, or
There are some vehicles that are put together in the Underhive, or are repaired, or they make basic components for, like, for example, making the nuts, bolts, just the ancillary, the tiny little objects. Making wire, for example. The Mechanicus don't mind that being let out, but they would just check all of their, if they go to a manufacturer and ask them for wire, they will check every meter to make sure there are no breaks, it is perfect, and if it meets their requirements, they'll pay for it. If it doesn't, they'll send it back.
okay, so no vehicle
Vehicular
accidents.
homicide.
In the Middle Hive, just to let you know, you do have vehicle access. You can, if you want, buy a vehicle to speed up your movement. The Middle Hive is connected to all different fucked up motorways that go round. Because again, you've only got a cross section of the Hive. 360, you can drive all the way round.
That's actually good to know, but I was more thinking, the brakes failed and they were run over 3 times by that vehicle. Oh my god, the humanity.
They're run over 3 times by their own truck.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what the driver servitor may malfunction,
But
These
if
things can be
vehicles
vicious.
are actually, well, I forgot the word, but if the vehicles are actually
Manufactured?
not manufactured, they are kind of like
Self-driving.
vigilant by
Assembled?
no, not the mechanicus make sure of the quality of every vehicle.
Oh, okay.
If the mechanicus are making sure that every vehicle in the hive is well maintained, like we can't actually use those.
No,
with
there
accident.
are privately owned. There's too many vehicles in the Hive for the Mechanicus to be the sole operators and maintainers. There are privately owned vehicles.
Besides,
There are
there's only so
privately owned.
There's only so much Mechanicus can do about a pissy machine spirit.
So, the Imperial Guard, for example, have mechanics.
Machines
They
were
know
the
how
one-
to change tyres. They know how to change certain parts of the machine. They just can't build the engine, but they can replace parts on the engine. And the Mechanicus literally just walk along and just go, okay, I sanctify these repairs made, the machine spirit has been appeased. No, this machine has not been sanctified. It's a machine spirit is unhappy because you have not done the bolts up in the correct order to maintain a properly seated. The Mechanicus don't do absolutely everything mechanical wise. They have jurisdiction over everything mechanical wise, but they do pass off some responsibilities to, for example, members within the Imperial Guard and members of the Autonautica maintenance divisions. So the guys who maintain spaceships, they're not all maintained by Mechanicus. Some of them are just highly trained individuals by the Mechanicus normally, but still. You can find a mechanic who does dodgy repairs on brakes, or you can find vehicles that are driven by servitors.
Ooh. Thing is, I don't want to mess with servitors. Jenny might kill me if I mess with a servitor, or maybe not. But
No,
if they get,
I will make you into a servitor.
well, again, if for some reason the vehicle the servitor is driving malfunctions, and the inspectors get run over and die because of the freak accident, that's still an accident.
True. I tell you what, as we brainstorm ideas for the next upcoming missions, the Servo Skull, zooms out and leaves our group as they plan, plot, and prepare for what is to come. And
Death and destruction. Match death and destruction.
we will see if they are able to put together some of the clues and hints that I have placed throughout this series to find out what is going on this hive world.
We are literally characters in the song. Kill me.
And he's only just noticed. See these little hints and droppets and nom. It is delicious. It is delicious. So yes, find out next time if our group of want-to-be inquisitorial agents can put together the clues, can line up the dots and try and focus their investigations, or if they're just going to follow along with how the world is taking them. We'll see. To fight against the river or to go with the flow. We'll find out what our group decides in the next episode. So I truly hope that you have enjoyed this episode and will enjoy future episodes to come. So take care everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Praise
ya.
corn.